Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time we're going to take a look back into the future with this old thing here, Mystery in Space, number 94 from 1964. A lot of good old-fashioned science fiction fun. Before that, remind you that you can get your copy now available on Amazon of my new comic book, Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology. Some humor, gags, and some adventure, all in one. It's just go to Amazon, type in Bizarre Brain Comics. It'll come right up, and you can have your copy for $7.99. And I want to thank everyone who's told me, and even those who haven't told me, that they have already ordered their copy. And thank you so much, and I hope you all enjoy it. And I want to give a little shout out to some other YouTube channels, like Is This Just Fantasy? It's primarily about fantasy and sword and sorcery art and comics. And then there's another fellow, Dex Stewart. That's Dex Stewart, Stewart, Stewart. About comics, cartoons, games, all kinds of nerdy things. Now, here we have DC Comics Mystery in Space, number 94. Number 94, 1964. And this is a crossover. It's a one story taking up the entire issue. It's told in 3 chapters. It's a crossover between the Space Ranger and Adam Strange. And in this case, it's also future Adam Strange. Because remember, Space Ranger and Adam Strange don't exist in the same century. And the cover and some of the interior art was by Dick Dillan and Sheldon Moldoff. Partial writer or creator, anyway, it was Gardner Fox. The interior art was done by Dick Dillan and Phil Kelsey and Lee Elias with Henry Boltonoff and D.A. Vewood and Henry Boltoff did some of the script. It was Gardner Fox. And since our main character involved in this is the Space Ranger, and Space Ranger he lives in the 22nd century, and his name is Rick Starr. And he's a science fiction hero published by DC Comics. I've gone into more deep background detail on Adam Strange before, so I won't do that so much now. He appeared, Space Ranger appeared in several science fiction anthology titles of the 50s and 60s, and he first appeared in Showcase number 15 in 1958, and he was created by Edmund Hamilton and Gardner Fox, both of whom are pulp science fiction writers, and by artist Rob Brown. And he is similar to Isaac Asimov's character Lucky Star. Lucky Star had a series of novels, and he was a space ranger. And he later appeared, that's Space Ranger, later appeared in Tales of the Unexpected and Mysteries in Space until issue 103. And Space Ranger took on the Space Ranger gig to be an interplanetary troubleshooter battling space pirates and alien invaders and evil scientists and various criminals. So, and this crossover must have been at least fairly popular enough because the following year, in issue 98, they did it again. Or this had been a remainder one where they supposed to have been the cover was part of the cover was torn off, sent back for credit, and the book was supposed to have been destroyed, but those were never destroyed. They wound up making the rounds. And so, let us take a little adventure with Space Ranger and future Adam Strange. Okay, we'll just briefly cover these because, of course, the first chapter is a Space Ranger story. Starts off with something weird going on. It's just a splash page. Something happening. Some guy went through. A pilot had a couple days off. Landed on Jupiter, and he went into the jungles doing a little bit of exploring. Discovered the wreck of a ship called the Cosmos. Found a couple of gadgets. One of them was a old ray gun. He takes it back and shows his buddies. Somebody touches something, it activates. Weird things happen. These creatures appear, start doing all kinds of digging and destroying, and then Space Ranger comes to the rescue, seeing what's going on, and he manages to save all these people from a collapsing building. And then all these digging critters just disappear. And Space Ranger has his Krill, his alien sidekick, and he learns about all the stuff that the pilot tells him, and the ray gun has Adam Strange's name on it. They know who Adam Strange is because he was a hero of Rann from centuries before, back in at that time the 20th century. So he goes to Rann, to a museum there, gets Adam Strange's diary and flips through it, and we find something relevant. And here's the story. Then we have a flashback for chapter 2 to the Adam Strange story. Adam Strange appearing has the Zeta beam transported from Earth to Rann, and he's meeting Alana, his fiancée, and on their way home, something happens. They see this alien criminal. He spots this guy, and this thing is happening. It looks a giant. They always had these things, a giant hand scythe or a sickle. And they always have stuff like this. Like they had a giant magnifying glass as a menace one time, and it's cutting down trees. And here's this transmitter tower, and he's going to fall on the people of the village. He stops that, saves them. The criminal takes off. Finds the gizmo, and I wanted to point out that this is the artwork of Lee Elias. Now, Lee Elias is a long-time comic fan, comic contributor. He had been for a time an assistant to Milton Caniff of Steve Canyon and Terry and the Pirates, and then he did. And so his style was very strongly influenced by Milton Caniff. And in fact, in the 50s, he had a short-lived science fiction comic strip called Beyond Mars, which I intend to cover sometime. And so he was well-versed in this stuff. At this time, his artwork has kind of moved away from the Milton Caniff look, but still has little hints of it in there. So he gets to the cave where the guy is taken off. There's other gizmos, touches one, and they are shrunk down into ant-sized people. And they're menaced by a bat-like critter, and they use their jetpacks, rockets to to distract it. Had all kinds of action going on, and they defeat the guy, get their size back, and defeat the guy, and in the process, his spaceship, the Cosmos, takes off, and then we find out that it had crashed on Jupiter. Then back to future Adam Strange with Space Ranger goes to find the descendants of Adam Strange, see if they have anything. Yeah, they got something. There's this gizmo which was described in this plaque, which was described in the diary. Managed to get someone who can translate it. Yeah, it was goes back to prehistoric times on Ran. The thing was there for a weapons test, and so there's still one gizmo out there, and could be very dangerous. So young Adam Strange takes his ancestors' gear, puts that on, and they team up together. Discover the thing has done its stuff. It's activated. It has doing something menacing, and they work together to deflect the menace. Meanwhile, Adam Strange's jetpack is damaged, and Space Ranger has to save him. But they defeated the thing and saved the day, and then they team up again another time. So good action, good kind of juvenile fun. And one of the neat things here in these books, they have a little dead space, and they filled it up with some little relevant gag type things. And that's what I've got for you this time with Mystery in Space. I noticed that Dick Dillan's work in this is more simplified and stylized than the work he did for DC just a decade later, which was more illustrative. And the whole thing, it's all some great science fiction fun, and I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments below. You like Adam Strange? Do you like Space Ranger? Which one do you like? Do you like better? Or are you completely unfamiliar with either one? Let me know. Please share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, comics are art.